Alright, so really quick video on the weighted dips and weighted pull-ups. So I don't have much to say in terms of technique for these exercises besides do real reps, right? Get pretty low, get pretty locked out, get pretty low, not all the way, because if you go all the way down, that puts a lot of stress on your shoulders, and get above the bar. Don't go all the way because that puts a lot of stress on your elbows, but do real reps. That is my one piece for technique. And then when you're executing the reps, try and do them with speed. So this is just a little optimization trick. There's some studies that show that if you give yourself the cue to move quickly, that you can increase force output without actually changing anything besides just the cue to move faster. So with that out of the way, for the weighted pull-ups, we're going to do a 2x2x2. 2 reps, 2 sets, twice weekly. For the weighted dips, we're going to do a 2x3, 2 reps, 3 sets, once weekly. And you can superset these exercises. So you can do them in the same rest block. Making sure that you are, of course, sufficiently rested. You can shorten your workout time a little bit by doing weighted pull-ups and weighted dips at the same time. So just like resting 1 or 2 minutes after finishing one and going into the other, and then resting 1 or 2 minutes after finishing that, and then going into the other again. And if that feels like too much, you don't have to. I'm going to ask that you do the weighted dips on rings rather than dip bars. And the reason is it hits your stabilizer muscles in your elbow and in your shoulder, which is where a lot of climbers get injured. So the strength is really going to translate a lot better, even though you're probably going to do a lot less weight. So that's really why I prefer the rings over the parallel bars. So since we're only doing 2 reps, we're going to have to make them count. You have to really, really try. You're going to have a lot of weight. You're going to be trying really hard. And therefore, you have to warm up. You're going to have more warm-up sets than working sets. I can guarantee you that. Warm-up protocol, you should definitely do some without weight before you do some with weight. That's pretty obvious. And then I would add like maybe 20% weight, then 60% weight, then 80% weight of whatever your max is for the rep range that you're working with. If you need help figuring out how to figure out what your max is, I would try picking a number that you think is much too large for you to do and then working your way down after doing a significant warm-up. Because it's much better to have a max that's actually your max than something that you're like, oh, this feels hard, because it feels hard at 60% and it also feels hard at 100%. And you'll only know if you're at 100% if you can't go 101%, if that makes sense. So that's why when picking the weight to do, you should work down if you're not sure where you're at. But yeah, I think that's it. Be safe. These are very hard exercises. So one last thing I forgot to mention, as you can see, I've shaved, it's a different day. You want to progress this exercise by 1 to 2% every session. So 1 to 2% includes your body weight. So 1.02 times your body weight plus the weight you're adding will be a 2% increase. And the same thing goes for 1.01. I trust you can do basic math. Progress the exercise to progressively overload your system.